even if you're not the man right now, or even if you weren't the man in high school, and you're in college right now, there's more people like you than there are who's like this stud dude. You know what I'm saying?
There's so much more to Lynn. Like Lynn's a good platform, and I think they treated me pretty well. But like I think that the kids just don't understand. There's so much outside of Lynn, and that's also branching off of the exposure part.
I think that was a great conversation. So we're good. You're big on using your resources. Can you kind of explain? I don't know where that's from because you've been doing it since you were younger, but like the importance of using your resources and the people around you. You said you had a mentor on campus. Like those things are so important.
Mm-hmm. I can't really pinpoint it, but I think from like a young age, I realized that the world is so much bigger than Lynn and beyond Lynn. We talked about exposure earlier, and that is something that really stuck with me. Even though that there are people within the city who are great athletes, even though I was a decent athlete, when I get to Colby, when I go to play somewhere else, I am just another person. And I think, being at a school like Colby that's so resource rich right now, it's like I've never had an opportunity to do these things. I've never been able to travel across the country for free to do research or whatever, and to be able to kind of get these stuff and take advantage of them is really powerful. And I think it's something that we all need to do. We see people want to help you. When I needed a job, a summer opportunity a couple of years ago, he helped me out with that. And for the last couple of years, I've been working for the city, trying to help plan things and stuff like that. And I would have never had the opportunity if I hadn't reached out to you. But also, it's just don't burn your bridges. I think we see a lot of kids who, all right, I don't like this teacher, so I'm not going to talk to her, or I'm going to be rude to her or something. That doesn't work because maybe 3 years later, you want a job, you want this opportunity, you need to talk to them. And so you need to keep your network, expand it, but also don't limit yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're at St. Mark's, like a lot of people don't understand, they have the luxury of going from school to go home, and you're with your family. And a lot of people talk about this prep school, but it's like, yo, you might end up in Connecticut, you might end up in New Hampshire or Western Mass or whatever, right? Like, you have to be mentally tough to handle that because it's like that's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. And me and Antonio talk about this a lot, just in general, of like prep school's not for everyone. He's done it, but he said it sucks kind of. Yeah, like you don't get to play in front of most of your family, and you're kind of like isolated. Do you feel like that? Like you don't get your just due because like you never really played at like an English class or St. Mary's or Tech?
Low key, yeah, I do. Especially in high school, I had FOMO, my fear of missing out. Just seeing all my childhood friends, kind of blow up and win. I envied that. Yeah. And I got a little taste of that when I went to St. John's Prep. We had the Jamboree, where we only played like half a game. Yeah. We played like half a game. Me and Freddie played half a game against each other, and I got that feeling. But then I had to do what was best for me. Yeah. And that meant missing out on all of that, and that hurt. But I had to do what was best for me at the time. Yeah. And I do miss it. I don't regret it, but I do wish I could have been a part of that environment because that's something you only get once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think Keith spoke to that as well, as about doing stuff that's best for him because you only have this small window of doing things in a lifetime. So at Nichols, you basically did everything in terms of like set records, was a great student, set yourself up for a great job. I know in a group we talked about like your Boston internship. And I'll let you speak about your experience at St. Mark's and how that has led to where you are right now.
Mm-hmm. So definitely St. Mark's helped me network.
Sorry, not St. Mark's, Nichols.
St. Mark's helped me network, which then in turn helped me in my Nichols career. I remember coming to you to help me out with my resume. Boom, networking right there. Just using my different connections to help me along the way to get my paid internship in Boston, which was from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But I was getting paid $18 an hour. You don't really see that. Mm-hmm. And I was getting, and with that money, I was busting my butt working 40 hours a week, and while still working out. Mm-hmm. So with doing that helped me become the man I am because I bought myself a car, and that just made me think nothing's given me. Mm-hmm. So just my career through Nichols, like that's kind of just how I approached it. Nothing was given to me.